Hey, welcome. Somebody's missing. Hi, Tarbill. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing
tonight?
tonight?
Fantasy show on the 1252 Sports Entertainment Network. We're the best network around. Go anywhere else. You're making a bad decision. We're going to do a lot of fantasy stuff. Where's our numbers guy? Where's Tyler? Have you heard from him?
I think he's just a tad bit scared to come on air with us this week, knowing
because he wears a Packers hat, a Packers shirt. We should be able to have a laser gun with these Zoom things and everything else and just get them. Hey, how are you? I hope everybody won money last week. I didn't, and I have to, Tarbill, before we start, I'm going to make an announcement, and nobody who does fantasy football, host, co-host, whatever, will do this. Nobody. To everybody that listens to me, I'm sorry. I recommend whatever I say, you do the opposite. That's how you'll win. Last week, I remember I signed off and say, wait. I've got the guy. That's going to have a breakthrough game. Remember who it was, Tarbill?
I don't, but I have a feeling.
The quarterback of the Giants, Jones. I said he's going to have a game. God damn it, he even got a concussion. I think he's going to play this week. Never listen to me again. Because the other quarterback, I said, shouldn't even be playing anymore. I put down Ben Roethlisberger like I would put down an enemy. And all of a sudden, I'm watching everybody's talking about a great comeback game Ben Roethlisberger's had. And you know what? Guess what? What?
I think it was just one game. I wouldn't say that Ben Roethlisberger is having a comeback by any means.
Okay, let's go to that game then right now, as long as you say that.
Okay.
Going into Pittsburgh is the great Geno Smith and the worst defense in the NFL, the Seattle Seahawks, with, by the way, anybody at your draft. You drafted Russell Wilson. You high-fived yourself. He's out till week 10. Put that down there right now.
That's got to be horrible.
I'd love to know, this is where Tyler really comes in. What's the percentage of people who took Geno Smith? Because there's no Zach Wilson. Jets are on a bye. There's no Garoppolo or Trey Lance. Yeah. Good going, 49ers. Who made the worst deal? Saints and Falcons are also on a bye. So in reality, people probably have Matt Ryan. People probably have Jameis Winston. Nobody has anybody who has Trey Lance on their roster, and anybody who has Jimmy Garoppolo on the roster, you're crazy. Remember, I said do the opposite. But Wilson, this is the first time he's ever missed a game. You know, the only thing coming back is Big Ben life is another trip to McDonald's. You know what? By the way, I ate at McDonald's yesterday. Drive through. You know, there still is nothing better than when you're a little bit buzzed and you drive through McDonald's and I just ordered 2 regular hamburgers, a large fry, and a small Diet Coke. I sit in the parking lot and I'm happy as a pig, and you know what?
Oh, I can imagine.
Well, that's the best food out here. If I was in Chicago, I'd go to Gene and Jude's. I'd go to Super Dogs. I'd go to Jimmy's on the west side. I don't care.
Right.
But there's none of that here. Okay, let's go down some of the people, Tarbill, that are out. Do you think Christian McCaffrey is ever going to be taken number 1 again in fantasy leagues? It's 2 years in a row.
I would say no, strictly from the perspective that you take him number 1 and he gets injured, it's detrimental to your team. I mean, I picked him up in a league when he got hurt because somebody was dumb enough to get rid of him, but I've got a spot on my bench he can warm until I go to put him out there.
I mean, I find usually when these teams give these running backs great contracts, right away they always get hurt. Oh, by the way, speaking of that, if you hate the tandem of Chubb and Kareem Hunt, you won't hate him this week. There's no.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. A little bit of technical difficulties over here on my end.
I just want you to know, Mike's hovering around, Mouse. Mike's hovering around. He sees that outfit. You know, look
Look
Fred.
at that.
Just
Our guy Fred.
chimed in. Yeah, Fred chimed in. The Fred, you were Shubes and Bruce. I miss my Fred. I listen to it every week. He's my man. Can you believe we got to sit here looking at this for the next 45 minutes or so?
I'm going to have to
Do you want to go to that
again.
game right now? Do you want to go to that game right now, Mouse?
Yes, I want to go to that game. I want to
Okay.
go to that game immediately.
The Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears. What is Rodgers, 12-1 out of the last 13 games against the Bears?
Yeah, it's something
Something
crazy like that.
Okay. Oh, I forgot I have $10 for you.
That's right.
Better
Okay,
hand
how
it
about
through
a
the
double or
screen.
nothing? How about a double or nothing?
Oh, you got a deal no matter
the Bears
what.
even up against the Packers.
Oh, I'll take that any day of the week.
Okay. Okay, come on, people. Get mad at me. I took the Bears, and I'm not a homer. I think anybody who knows me, I'm not a homer. I smell something here. You do know, Mouse, your 2 starting cornerbacks are out.
Yeah, that's true. So last week Jair Alexander was out, and I believe Kevin King was out as well. And I mean, Jamar Chase
out.
did. Yeah, they're both out again this week. But Jamar Chase did torch us. But have you guys heard any updates on Allen Robinson?
He did
No,
not.
but you know what I'm
practice
done.
today.
I have it down right now, and I'll ask you right now, Mouse, how much you would love to see him. It never happened. If you're the Bears, you really should trade him before November 2nd, right? Get rid of him, trade him, do it for something. The ideal place. You don't think he would be phenomenal across from Devontae Adams?
Oh, I'd love Allen Robinson up in Green Bay.
Yeah.
But it's never going to happen.
No, I got to say one thing, though. The hit Randall Cobb took last week to win the game when he scored that touchdown, he knew what he was doing when he talked to Rodgers and said, tell him you want me to come back. That man was there for anybody. That shows the unison between good receivers and their quarterback. I mean, it really shows. And I think Fields and Mooney, maybe not this year, maybe at the end of the year, but next year, they're going to be right up there with, Favre and Devontae Smith won't be on the team anymore, will they, Mouse?
Favre?
Rodgers.
I mean Rodgers. I'm old.
Honestly,
I'm old.
I don't think Rodgers leaves. I think he stays.
No.
I think he leaves.
Rodgers is gone 115% after season.
Oh.
Yeah.
They gave
All
him
right,
the perfect contract. They gave him the perfect out. They said, you can handpick where you want us to trade you, and we will not stop it.
He is still
Well-
under contract for 2022.
He's gone.
You want to do
In my
triple or
opinion,
nothing
he's
and
gone.
wait?
But
Okay, what about Devontae Adams?
I think he is gone if Rodgers does leave. If Rodgers gets traded, there's no way in hell Devontae Adams is staying.
Will the
it's either
Packers
both
give
of
him
them or
the
none of
most
them.
money for any wide receiver?
I don't think the Packers would do that. We've seen time and time again that
Right.
they don't like to give their homegrown players big contracts like that, and then they
Right.
go on and perform other places. But I mean, he deserves it, but I don't think you're going to get one or the other. You're going to get both, or you're going to get none of them.
I would agree with
Okay.
that. I don't think that Adams stays if Rodgers is gone. I mean, why would you at that point? Nobody wants
Yeah. First
Jordan
of all-
Love throwing him the fucking ball.
First of all, wouldn't it be great if they did a deal together and they went as a package, like let's say to Denver, and it's Rodgers and it's Adams, both go to Denver, and the Packers get back Jerry Jeudy for the great connection with Jordan Love. You know, because Love has done a. I don't see Jordan Love liking being a Green Bay Packer.
I think Jordan Love is going to be the first quarterback in 40 years to be a pile of shit for the Green Bay Packers. And I'm looking forward to it because it is so time. Time is so due for that to happen for the Green Bay Packers.
No, we'll see
Well,
what
Tyler,
happens.
let's go. You done the big thing that's going to be the change for the Bears against that downtrodden Packer team is that Damian Williams is also out. So we're going to see a hell of a lot of Herbert.
So the Packers defense, they do not give up a lot of rushing attempts on the season. The Packers run a lot of clock, so it does not allow the opposing team to run the ball a lot. We did see last week the Bengals did rush the ball more than any other team against the Packers. But on the season,
112 yards.
Yeah, on the season, those Packers have not given up a rushing attempt of more than 20 yards, which is nice compared to.
Can we go back to the game
years.
Mouse just brought up? We all were texting each other. I mean,
dude, that was awful.
Kick the field goal. Jesus.
I expect, seriously, to see a Netflix documentary in a year or two about, what's his name, the kicker?
Crosby.
That the Green Bay mob kidnapped his kid, and he had to miss the field goals.
Oh, the guy has a horrible game like that once every season, it seems like. And then he's great for the other.
I mean, there were 5 field goals missed from the fourth quarter to the end of overtime.
Yeah, it was.
I felt sorry for Cincinnati. I'll tell you what, Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, whoa. Dak Leonard.
That's a beautiful connection.
Dak Prescott and DeeDee Lamb. Whoa. There are some great, and Green Bay is offering Favre and Devontae Adams on a silver platter.
You did it again there, Space. Rodgers.
I said Favre.
Rodgers.
You know what? I realized I said Favre. You know, sometimes I do it on purpose. That time I didn't. You got to realize it's now here, 4:45. You know, there's been a lot of intake here in the Schwartz household. You know, why do you think they call me Space? It's not because of Spaceball. But so, Mouse, you really like the Pack over the Bears?
Oh, yeah. I don't think the Bears offense really gets anything moving, especially with Montgomery still being out, Allen Robinson being banged up. Even though he hasn't really contributed that much this season.
No, it's a Mooney. It's a coming out party. It's a coming out party for Justin Fields. Don't forget, everybody, the poor kid, and I feel sorry for him in this respect. The poor kid, everybody wants to like him. Everybody. But if that was Mitch Trubisky that had his last 3 games, the Chicago media would be eating him up alive. They want to like Fields. Even in the wins, he hasn't performed that great.
So here's the thing. The last 2 weeks, they've pushed the emphasis to run the ball and take the pressure off of Fields. But he has shown up in the big moments, in those crucial 3rd and 12s when he needs to get a first down. He throws a bullet across the middle of the field to get the first down. When he needs to do things that he's being specifically asked to do, he does them well, but they're taking a lot of the pressure away from him. Purposely, they don't want to put everything on his shoulders yet. And right or wrong, go ahead.
Gentlemen, come in my time machine. Come right after the draft. The experts on ESPN, they're paid to be experts, just like we say we're the world's best show. Who's going to argue with us? So ESPN has the forum. They're the experts. If I remember correctly, both Jones and Fields were by the experts the most pro-ready to come into an offense. Yes. How hard can the Bears offense be when it's so crappy to begin with?
It's not hard, and that's the problem is Matt Nagy is a horrible play caller. I've said it time and time again. Now you've got Bill Lazor calling plays. He's obviously trying to protect Fields by leaning on the run game. But realistically, I think that this week, with your 2 starting cornerbacks for the Packers injured, I think this week you see them air it out a lot more with Fields. I think you start to see some of those really impressive throws. You start to see a little bit of the hot sauce, so to speak, that's going to separate Justin Fields as a man among boys when it comes to previous Bears quarterbacks. You got to remember, the Bears' best quarterback is obviously, well, shouldn't say obviously, but most people would agree that the Bears' best quarterback they've ever had is Jay Cutler. And that's not me sucking up to Jay Cutler. That's just how atrocious our quarterback.
By the way, his first couple of years, he was pretty good.
Yeah.
For the Bears, Cutler.
I don't disagree. I mean, Adam Gase coached him, so fuck that guy. Adam Gase shouldn't. I'm glad he's no longer in the NFL. But with that being said, I think Justin Fields is going to start taking some shots downfield this week, and I think it's going to be something interesting that not a lot of people are expecting. I think this is going to be a lower scoring game. I think we're looking at 21-17 Bears. I think the Bears pull this one out. I think they manage the clock. I think they slow down the Packers with Khalil Mack and Robert Quinn on the edges. I think Rodgers is going to get sacked at least 5 times this game, and I think we're going to put a hurt to him. It's going to be a slow, physical game. There's going to be a lot of clock management used by the Bears, but at the same time, those deep shots are going to happen when it's in crucial time. That's just my opinion. We'll see what happens Sunday. We'll see how it shakes out. Hopefully our field goal kicker kicks one more than Mason Crosby, and we're good.
So is there?
Do we need to take a break, Tarbill?
Just one moment, Space. What's up, Ty?
Is there an update on Mac? I did see he was questionable for the game.
Mac's been questionable since like week 14 of last season every week. I believe he did practice today. It was just quote unquote limited, but he'll be ready by Sunday.
Gotcha.
I'm not think one of the sports writers put Mac will play if he has 2 broken foots at Green Bay.
But I don't know. I'm concerned about Robinson. Not that he's played a huge part in this offense this entire season for that matter. Right. But if you have him off the field, it limits the defense to focus on Darnell Mooney. Really that's it, because they're not really going to focus on guys like Marquise Goodwin or Damiere Byrd, all these speedster guys that we're going to throw in the slot. You know how to stop a slot player. I mean, that's pretty obvious. So I think
shoot him.
If you don't have
take a gun, boom, you're dead.
If you don't have Allen Robinson on the field, I think it makes it much harder for that Darnell Mooney and Justin Fields connection. And then Williams is almost certain to be out because he is out. Close contact with COVID tracing.
He tested positive.
Okay. So he's out. He's 100%
he tested
out.
Positive. He is out.
So, with that being said, I think Khalil Herbert was great last week. I don't think he's going to be great in a primary back role. I think that the Bears are going to have to win this game through the air and with the use of Justin Fields' legs. And I'm excited as hell to see it, because if the Bears beat the Packers on Aaron Rodgers' last game at Soldier Field, which I believe it will be,
not a better way. Last game as a Packer.
Yes.
Last game as a Packer.
Last game as a Packer at Soldier Field.
Not going to happen.
But we'll talk some more shit about the Bears-Packers when we come back, guys, but we're going to take a quick break and hear a word.
And I also want to talk about and get your heads rolling about the tight ends in the NFL are really coming on strong. All the tight ends, other than K-Met.
Yeah, unfortunately. We're going to take a quick word from our sponsor here, Nick and Ivy Brewing, and we'll be back in 60 seconds.
Hello, this is Paul from Nick and Ivy Brewing Company. We are located at 1026 South State Street in historic downtown Lockport, Illinois. We are very excited to be partnering up with the Fat Mike Chicago Sports Show, as well as the 1252 brand, because we are one of the few Chicagoland breweries that embrace sports and sports culture. Come in for a fresh brewed beer made right here in Lockport while catching the game of your favorite team. Stay for the live music that we have booked every weekend, or just come for a cozy atmosphere to enjoy a good conversation with a friend, loved one, or complete stranger. Nick and Ivy makes you feel right at home no matter what the occasion is. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook by searching for Nick and Ivy Brewing Company. Visit our website for our up-to-date tap list, or to go shopping on our online store at nickivybrewing.com. That's NIKIVY brewing.com. Come in today for a fresh brewed beer born and raised in Lockport, Illinois.
And we're back, guys. Be sure if you're in the Lockport area to stop out and see our guy Paul at Nick and Ivy Brewing. Delicious beer. They got the Fat Mike Chicago Lager out there, as well as the Hubner, named after our guy.
They're running out of Hubner. They're running out of it.
That's what I hear.
So popular. But you know what I just did during the break? I wrote a commercial for Nick and Ivy to the tune of the Beverly Hillbillies. I'll just do the first 2 lines. Paul, if you're listening, you're going to meet me in November. Nick and Ivy is the place to be. Plenty of drinking is all right by me. Okay, I'm done. I hope Paul loves it and gives me my burger for free. Okay, have we talked enough about the Bears and the damn Packers?
So who wins, Space? I don't think you said.
What? Oh, the Bears? I took the Bears straight up.
That's right. You took the Bears straight up.
I think you are right where you said 21-17. See, I can remember that, but I keep on screwing up Rodgers and Favre. But the bottom line is I think the Bears are going to win. I think this is the coming up. If Justin Fields is going to be anything, and Justin Fields, a word from Space. Chill out, dude. Don't be so tight. Your parents come in to celebrate him being made the number 1 quarterback. He can't go with his parents to dinner because he's got to watch film. Dude, it's a 2-hour dinner. Go. Damn.
Hey, he's dedicated to the craft.
Can you see Jim McMahon saying, I'm not going to go out to Ditka's because I don't want to worry? When you were lost in Space Mouse, we had talked a little bit about, would you ever take Christian McCaffrey with your number 1 pick again?
So if he continues to miss games this season, I don't think you could do it anymore. But, I mean, right now.
And by the way, anybody, Penny Rashad.
Yeah, Rashad
might as well take Penny Rashad.
I mean,
yeah.
Rashad Penny, he's missed so many games in his career. I don't think he's ever played more than like 5 games in a season. I think it's Alex Collins' job. Alex Collins is pretty solid. I think he can hold it until Carson gets back.
Alex Collins.
Hot take of the week there.
Okay, before we get into the schedule, I wrote down, I apologize at the top of the show, Tyler. I apologized for telling everybody my pick of the week is Jones from the Giants and how bad Roethlisberger is. I ate crow. I apologized, told everybody, go opposite of me. If I say take this guy, don't take this guy. So the big news today in the NFL, I guess everybody wants the Cardinals to win the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. Philadelphia traded Zach Ertz as if he was a nobody. He might be he's definitely a top 5 tight end.
No, absolutely not.
And now they have 2 varies, huh?
Zach Ertz is a very, very, very inefficient tight end. The only reason he is performed in fantasy is pure volume. You can go look at his efficiency stats. He is very inefficient. I think he's just a guy that soaks up targets around the line of scrimmage.
Well, I will say this. I'm excited to see him on the Cardinals because he's on my fantasy.
Why they don't give, what's his name, the running back, what's the running back over there name again? Saunders.
Oh, Chase
He carried last week 4 times. Mike Sanders. He carried 4 or 5 times.
Well, I don't think you need to carry the ball when you.
What I think you're
with Hurts because he runs it all.
Here.
He's going to get killed. He's not going to last the season.
I think Space is having a little bit of technical difficulty.
Miles Saunders, what's his name? I am. From Philadelphia, Miles Saunders, the running back. You telling me I'm wrong?
I mean, I think we missed a bunch of stuff you were saying in the middle of there. You kept
it's that head.
Out.
But with that being said, I don't know. I'm always been a Zach Ertz fan. I like what he brings to the table in the red zone for a fantasy perspective. Yes, as a tight end in purely the league, he's not that great of a player. I will agree with you there, Ty, but I think you can always count on him for a couple red zone targets, and sometimes in fantasy,
it's no different than Kittle for the 49ers. He's gone. I mean, the tight end general position, look at Knox on Buffalo. What's his name? What's the guy's name on Dallas? I think he scored 2 last week.
Dalton.
Yeah. I mean, all of a sudden, tight ends are becoming part of an offensive scheme here with the younger quarterbacks because I think they're used to their tight ends in college.
Yeah, I would agree with that to an extent. I think you're starting to see tight ends be used more and more in blocking formations as well, kind of going back to that old school mentality of having an extra man there to help out the line, especially for the Bears. I mean, we saw it a lot last week. They threw Alex Bars out there at the tight end position to help block and buy Fields and the run game a little bit of extra time. And that's nitty-gritty old school football. I'm all about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think in watching Saturday football, you're seeing a lot of teams use their tight end a lot more.
I don't want to talk about Saturday football. I'm a little distressed after my Crimson Tide gave up such an atrocious loss to Texas Tech or Texas A&M.
They'll win out and still get it. You know, why isn't there, your theories, both of you, for fantasy, why isn't there an NCAA fantasy for just the top 25 teams?
Yahoo
I've never seen ESPN promoted or anything like that.
Yahoo runs NCAA fantasy football on their platform.
But what do they use the criteria of?
It's up to the commissioner how you set it up. You can set it up by conference or throughout the entire NCAA. It's up to the commissioner how they want to do it.
So, Tyler, we're starting a college league next season?
Man, I would have to pass on that. I am not very
I know
much
you're not a
into,
college guy.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
But he'll sure as hell
if
play fantasy NASCAR. Don't.
That I will.
If anybody wants to know, Nick Chubb is out for this coming week.
Yes.
You know, so Kareem Hunt is a brilliant play.
Kareem Hunt is also questionable as well with a wrist injury, I believe. Yes.
Kareem Hunt could be
wrist injury. They'll wrap it.
Kareem Hunt missed practice Wednesday and Thursday, and then Friday so today he got a limited practice in. But he is questionable.
We got a question here in the chat, or a statement rather. Trying to trade Boyd and Tim Patrick for T. Higgins and Josh Gordon. I need the help at receiver, and it seems like only T. Higgins can really coexist with Jamar Chase.
But number one, you're trading 2 receivers for 2 receivers. I don't think the person would do it.
Yeah,
I think Jamar Chase right now, if you were drafting today, for what you know for the third of the season, if your draft was today, if you just watched for 6, would Jamar Chase be a top 5 receiver taken?
He might be. I definitely wouldn't take Allen Robinson again. I know that.
Well, Allen Robinson's never been a top 5.
I don't know if he's top 5, but I think he is definitely top 10 if we redrafted at this point.
Another question here. Guys, Brock here is 5-0 in a 10-team PPR 2-flex league. Trade Najee/Amari for Christian McCaffrey and Jacoby. No. My running backs are Eckler, Monty, Moss. Wide receivers Devontae, Debo, Deontay, Godwin, and Sutton. What's your guys' take here?
Well, first of all, I don't want CMC. We just talked about it. And Jacoby Myers, he was supposed to have a great year, and he's done nothing because Mac Jones is – no, I wouldn't do that trade. Najee just came out with a huge game, and I think that's going to keep Ben Roethlisberger healthy and happy.
What do you think, Ty?
So I would do this trade. I actually made a trade in one of my leagues 2 weeks ago. I traded Najee Harris straight up to get CMC.
Yeah, well, how happy are you about that?
I mean, I have Chuba Hubbard, so I'm fine right now. But I'm ecstatic for the rest of the season, especially with him sitting 5-0. He has room to breathe. He can take a couple L's right now and still be in a good position to make the playoffs. And if CMC comes back healthy, you know for sure you're getting a wide receiver or a running back 1 and a wide receiver 2 wrapped up in the same lineup spot.
Yeah, and I would agree. I spent the rest of my fantasy waiver money on CMC for the entire year because I know as soon as he comes back, with me having Tyreek Hill and CMC, if I can manage till he comes back, which might be difficult now that Chris Carson's out, I may be able to win the entire guillotine league that I'm in. I don't know. I just have a good feeling that CMC will come back.
I think this guy is going to go. I think he's going to go the way that we've seen Saquon go. You know, missed all of last year, came back, had a couple of good games, and now he's out again. I just think once a running back breaks, they stay broken.
He still averaged 8 more fantasy points per game than the next closest running back in a PPR league. And I'm always chasing the fantasy points. When you have that big of a gap between number 1 and number 2, that's something I can't pass up on that.
No, I think he's going to be electric when he comes back.
But I don't want
Sam Darnold's
Kobe Meyer
target.
on my team.
Say that again, Space.
And maybe Sam Darnold is a piece of crap.
Well, the Jets surely thought
maybe
it.
Zach Wilson is a piece of crap. Maybe guys will start realizing.
You know,
what happened?
Our guy Fat Mike was lucky enough to interview Jim McMahon a while back, and he said,
"Are we all frozen?"
Chicago was the place where quarterbacks go to die, but I think the Jets could very well be the place that quarterbacks go to die.
The Jets have had a pretty long track record of not successful quarterbacks.
I mean, Rex Ryan made Geno Smith look like a reputable quarterback when he was there. I mean, they went to the playoffs, but
Rex Ryan went to 2 straight AFC championship games with Mark Sanchez as his quarterback.
Good old butt fumble. That's what I will forever call Mark Sanchez. When I heard him commentating, I believe it was last week, he was commentating the week before maybe, he commentated one of the Bears games. And I was like, are you freaking kidding me? They got butt fumble up here in the booth. Nothing against the guy. He's actually a pretty good broadcaster, but
yeah, I do like him as a broadcaster.
As much as I hate to say it, I really like Tony Romo as a broadcaster as well. I think he brings a lot of football IQ. Have you watched the Manning Brothers cast yet, Tyler?
So I gave it a chance week 1 and week 2, but I couldn't get into it. I get why people are into it, but I like watching the game in a normal setting. So I'm when I'm watching football, I'm trying to actually watch the game. I'm not trying to pay attention to like what the Mannings are saying while the game is going on.
Yeah, that was my thought too, is it's a little too difficult to follow the game because you're not really hearing that on-field commentary of what's going on, and you're more distracted by the conversation. I get why some people like it, as you said, but it's just not something that's personally for me.
I haven't watched it. I just think it's weird. They created a separate audience for another channel. Because why would you watch it unless you love both Mannings? And who are they going to have on as a guest? Because they have gotten great guests. You have to admit that.
I've heard a lot of people say they enjoy watching the Manning cast because of the extra bit of football info that you're not actually getting from the live broadcast. Because Peyton Manning will, Peyton Manning will go in depth breaking it down. And I don't think there's not many people better than Peyton Manning to hear just talk about football.
Yeah, I don't disagree, but like you said, aside from the guests, it's just too hard to follow the regular presentation of the game. I mean,
is it, since I've never seen it, is the Manning cast the entire game?
Yes, will. They'll bring on different guests and stuff like that.
So, but what I'm saying is they're there till the final whistle is blown?
Yep, correct.
Oh, that's a long broadcast.
Yeah, 3.5 hours roughly.
Right. Hey, let's focus on what do you think a little bit. What do you expect from the Raiders? They go into Denver, but obviously with all the news, wait till we check Mouse's emails. Woo! But what do you think? The Raiders, are they going to come out? This guy's supposedly they all like the interim coach, and just in general, What do you think, they're going to come out and play, or Broncos going to rock and roll all over?
I think the Raiders are going to return to what the Raiders are. I almost said Oakland, the Las Vegas Raiders. I believe are going to come out in their true fashion. The Raiders always seem to have a few good games where they make you scratch your head and go, is Derek Carr a better quarterback than I thought he was? And then he has a shit game like he did against the Bears, and people go, oh, yeah, he's Derek Carr.
So I don't think the Raiders turn it around this week going into Denver. That's a rough place to play, especially with that defense. But I don't think they're bad. I don't think they're as bad as we saw last week. There was so much extra stuff going on behind closed doors that wasn't football. I think the team was distracted. I mean, that's not an excuse. They still lost.
I think the Bears just put it to them personally. I don't think anything going on with Gruden had anything to do with it. I'm just going with the Bears are good.
That's because you're a homer. But no, I don't think they're as bad as they played last week. But
no,
I don't think they right the ship going into Denver this week.
I would agree. We got another comment here in the chat. I traded DJ Moore and Henderson for Stephon Diggs and Chase Edmonds. Thoughts?
That's a great trade. Great trade.
I think I would take the DJ Moore and Henderson side on that one. So I think Henderson is a top 12 running back for the rest of the season.
I don't disagree.
When he is in the game and he's healthy, they are using him, and Sony Michel is just getting a couple carries. And then DJ Moore, we've seen the full breakout this year. DJ Moore, I believe, is a top 12 wide receiver on the year so far.
I can't do it. I will never draft DJ Moore ever again in a fantasy league the entire time that he's in the league. Because the first 2 seasons I played fantasy football, DJ Moore was the Tyler Lockett of the Carolina Panthers, and I can't do it.
So DJ Moore, I have been all over DJ Moore his entire career, and I am still riding that train. I own him in all my dynasty leagues.
Really?
Would you like to see DJ Moore on the Packers?
I would love that, dude. I would love that.
How many games have you gone, Tyler? How many games have you gone to see in Green Bay?
I went to one game a couple years ago. It was Josh Allen's rookie year when he went to Lambeau. Packers shut him out. I think it was like 26-0. And it was a great week, too, because I streamed the Packers defense in like 12 different leagues. And so I had a great week. But, yeah, that was the first time I've ever been to Lambeau. And I believe we are actually planning a trip to go to Lambeau November 28th to watch the Packers play the Rams.
Wow,
Very
Thanksgiving
nice.
game. Just also the kicker. Here, we've never talked about kickers really other than Mason Crosby. Blankenship for the Colts, out. Tarbill was very upset.
Tarbill was very upset. That's the one position that I don't want to have to go get a guy out of free agency. I mean, it's a kicker.
How do you easy. You got a guy who's going to have a great game.
I mean, although I did pick up Las Vegas's
the
kicker.
Game of the week, before we take our next break, the game of the week for me, Chargers going to Baltimore. That's a beautiful game. He showed me something last week.
Well, okay, I don't disagree. I do believe that's going to be a great game. But what about Seattle? I think that with Russell Wilson and Chris Carson out, I think you're going to have to go bold and assume that they're going to get shut out, right?
Right. I think. I mean, you're talking about Geno Smith. I thought he was out of the league 20 years ago.
So did I, but hey.
Mouse, can you see anything? Did his percentages go up on fantasy teams?
So
Did people actually?
Geno Smith was picked up in a bunch of Superflex and 2 quarterback leagues. I know I placed a bunch of bids on him in Superflex leagues, and I missed out on all of them.
Really?
Yes. Well,
so there's that high of a demand for it. Well, in Superflex, I guess it makes sense.
Superflex, yeah, any starting quarterback that's breathing has value.
Fair enough.
I don't know if Geno Smith is breathing.
I mean, I was playing Mike Glennon in a couple leagues last year when he got some spot starts. So in a Superflex league, any quarterback that's getting snaps is valuable.
You were playing Mike Glennon.
In a couple weeks, was dealing with some injuries and stuff like that. You got to do what you got to do in a super flex.
You couldn't get anybody better than the giraffe neck? That's what you're telling me?
Well, so these are dynasty leagues. All my super flex leagues are dynasty leagues. So I mean, it's not. I'm not going to overpay to get a guy for a couple weeks. So I'll just roll with the long neck, Mike Glennon.
Okay, Kurt's telling me in the chat to pick up Santos. He was not available in one of my leagues, but I sure as hell did pick him up in the other one. Santos has been clutch. You guys realize Santos has made the last 34 attempts? He's going for the record, baby.
So in fantasy,
I love him. He's named after my favorite. He's pluralized off of my favorite Cub, Ron Santos.
So in fantasy with kickers,
yeah, joke.
You can be as efficient as you want, but when your team isn't putting up points, it's not really helping your fantasy team. I'm always streaming kickers. I'm always targeting kickers that have a high implied point total in their game.
That's why I took Las Vegas's kicker this week.
Why? Because there's more points being scored, and there's more attempts for the kicker to be out there kicking field goals and extra points.
I think we're going to start seeing on a regular basis 55 to 60-yard field goals. I think
it wouldn't surprise me the least.
Coaches are going to start going for it and expecting their kickers to do it, to make it.
All right, guys, let's go ahead and take a quick break here and hear from a couple of our sponsors that are so gracious enough to sponsor us at 1252 Sports Chicago, and we will be right back in 60 seconds.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Darren, licensed real estate broker with Coldwell Banker Real Estate Group in Homer Glen. Are you looking to buy or sell? Have you been disappointed in the past? The Jonathan Darren team with Coldwell Banker Real Estate Group focuses on providing you with a concierge level of service during the process of buying or selling. We are a service-oriented team with a fresh and professional approach to selling real estate. Our goal is to combine knowledge, skills, and passion to exceed our clients' expectations, and most of all, we truly care. We are a knowledgeable real estate team focused on offering expertise and innovative solutions for our clients. The Jonathan Darren team has 5 full-service real estate brokers and a dedicated full-time marketer servicing all of Chicagoland. We will customize a detailed plan around your timeline for a sale, purchase, investment, estate, or other needs. Real estate transactions can be stressful, but don't need to be. Let us handle it for you. Visit our website, homesbyjdt.com, or call 708-308-1938 today. Expect better in real estate. Choose the Jonathan Darren team.
Real estate is hot right now, and you need an attorney to handle all of this. My guy, Mark Berardi, does this all day long. He's a straight shooter. There's no fancy language. He's just to the point. And he and his team get the deal done. There's no BS. He also does estate planning, trusts, wills, and power of attorney. He has great reviews up and down the board from a ton of happy clients. For him and his big team, they're all just down to earth and normal people as much as he is. You will not be disappointed you went with him. He's located in Homer Glen and New Lenox and handles real estate all over Illinois. There's no place too far, so give him a call today at 708-942-8030. Again, that's 708-942-8030, or look him up online at Mark Berardi and Associates.
And we are back right here on the world's best fantasy show on the 1252 Sports Entertainment Network. Home for all of your fantasy needs right here. Because we say so.
Yeah.
Hey, one guy we got to talk about, and he's great for a wire pickup, Kadarius Toney for the Giants. What a game he had.
I would agree.
And then he got ejected.
And that kid was supposed to be great coming out.
Yes.
Oh, okay, Kurt. I liked it when you said pick up Santos. Not liking that comment there so much, but in reality, I think the Bears are going to score a few touchdowns. We already touched on that, but we'll see.
We got to see at least 3. Don't forget, everybody, Darrell Williams, Kansas City pickup.
Mm-hmm.
A big pickup because of Hilaire being out.
So while we were on break there, we got some breaking news from Jay Glazner. Cliff Kingsbury, the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals, has tested positive for COVID, and he is out. He is not going to be at the game.
That
He'll
could be
be up in
big.
the booth.
That could be really big because he is coming into contact with other coaches constantly. So
Right.
I
They
wouldn't
hug
be
at the end of every game.
I wouldn't be surprised to see more Arizona Cardinals coaching staff to be out due to COVID protocols for this game.
And possibly even players. I mean,
Yeah.
you never know what could happen there. That's huge breaking news.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to be honest, this COVID thing, I would stop the protocol. You can't convince me anymore that it means anything. I know people have died. I understand that. I got every one of my vaccinations, but you know what? I turn on the TV and all I do is see every stadium Saturday and Sunday filled to the rafters with nobody with masks on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're not wrong on that aspect.
I mean, I just don't get it anymore. I mean, and I'm a responsible parent. I have grandchildren. I mean, I want them to be safe and healthy. I want everybody I like to be safe and healthy. Notice I threw in there that I like. If I don't like you, I don't give a crap. Get sick. I don't care. So you got to look at Darrell Williams. You got to look at Khalil Herbert. A.J. Dillon's becoming more and more part of the Packers' offensive scheme. What do you think about him, Mouse?
A.J. Dillon has been a stash for the last couple of weeks. He is a running back that has immediate running back one upside if Aaron Jones did go down with any injury. We've already seen guys step in this year and perform not on par with the starters, but pretty well. And I think A.J. Dillon is a nice stash. He is a guy you can plug in as a flex play if you're in a pinch, kind of like a Tony Pollard. But this week, I don't think this is the week to use A.J. Dillon, unfortunately. But he is a nice guy. Especially if you have Aaron Jones, he's a guy you definitely want to have on your bench.
So we got a question in the chat here that's important to address. Is the Friday time slot permanent now? Yes, the Friday time slot is talking
to Mike. I have my agent talking to Mike. Friday night cuts into my Jewish religious shit. Every Friday night, the Jews, they like candles. I mean, maybe I'm going to bring that out next week. I'm a little menorah with candles lit. Yes.
Go right ahead.
We like sleeping on Sunday morning. Another one you got to look at is Devontae Booker of the Giants with
Saquon being hurt. Yep.
There's so many. Here's your Alex Collins. Sony Michel, I don't think he's anything. Gianni, I'm just looking at waiver wires from other people to see what they're saying. Giovanni Bernard really hasn't done anything for the Buccaneers. No. Leonard Fournette is playing as if he just graduated from LSU.
Yeah, Leonard Fournette,
good football.
He has completely taken over that running back one spot. Ronald Jones is not going to get that back unless something happens to Leonard Fournette.
So before we move on, we got another quick question here. Is Tyreek Hill playing? Sorry if we already talked about him. He's officially questionable.
I haven't seen him on any injury.
He's officially questionable, but I think
a lot of times, isn't he like a New England Patriot? If you're questionable, you're going to play, but it's just mind up.
No, so he had missed a couple days of practice, and he participated in the limited practice today. I don't know if he's a for sure go. That's a guy you want to keep an eye on, but I don't imagine him not playing. But if he does miss the game, Travis Kelce is an automatic lock in a daily fantasy lineup. He's extremely cheap this week after a couple down weeks.
Oh,
absolutely. But I'm telling you, if I'm a KC Chief fan, I'm a little worried in general. Mm-hmm. This team, they're not even the best team in the AFC anymore. We all had them going to this. No. Remember at the beginning of the year, the Patriots were going to go 17-0, and Kansas City was going to run through the AFC. They're not even the best team. I do think the best team is the Chargers and Herbert.
I would have to say the best team in the AFC is the Buffalo Bills.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's probably the Bills. The Bills are the best team in the NFL.
I love the Chargers because they have a running game. I don't like the running game in Buffalo, but I do love the defense.
Austin Eckler is a heck of a back.
You know what we have? The one thing, especially for you young ones, I'll be dead. But you got the next 10 years with Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert,
Joe Burrow,
all the
Lamar
other
Jackson.
Justin Fields.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson. Can I bring him up about how he looked last week?
Oh, he
If
was
you had the
phenomenal.
Ravens going into the fourth quarter, you're already turning off your TV and going to watch Billions or something. I mean,
Oh,
the kid is
absolutely.
unbelievable. Kid's unbelievable.
So the amount of fantasy points that were scored in that game was insane. Lamar
Yeah.
Jackson put up 40 fantasy points by himself. Andrews had another 35. Marquise Hollywood Brown had like
Another
30
tight end I
points.
forgot to mention during our tight ends.
Yep.
Yep.
That
But
was
no,
a
I mean-
phenomenal
I mean,
game.
and don't
Oh,
forget
amazing
Hollywood
game.
Brown really is playing like he likes to play there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Hollywood Brown right now would be a top 3 receiver if in fantasy if he would have caught just one of those touchdowns in that Detroit game. If you forgot, he dropped 3 wide open touchdowns.
Yes. Yep. So I
Who's your
think we
favorite
need
team?
to.
Not called the Green Bay Packers, Mouse.
I more just root for players after the Packers. I have guys I like, and then just guys on my fantasy team. I don't really have a second team. I'm more aligned with the players.
Well, I'm just talking
than
about
the team.
is there one team you love watching the way they play?
I
mean,
mean-
the Cardinals are fun to watch.
Yeah, so it's really the Chiefs. I enjoy watching great product on the field. I get
Right,
a lot of
right.
crap from people. I'm going to compare it to the NBA. I love the NBA. I enjoy watching teams like the Brooklyn Nets, the Miami Heat from a couple of years ago.
Oh, get
Even-
out of here.
No, just hear me out. I enjoy watching the best product that's available. The best product on the court, I enjoy watching it.
If you can't beat them, join them. Get out of here with that. I hate that shit. But
Then why do you go to bed with that hat on, Tyler?
No, so I mean, if you haven't noticed, I haven't worn it since like
Tyler,
week
do you wear
one.
that to
But
bed?
I do not wear it to bed. I haven't worn it since week 1 on this show, but it's Bears Packers week. I had to break it out.
that's how he had his last child. That's why they named him Aaron. I'm just kidding.
What'd you name your kid?
Aaron. After Aaron Rodgers, I couldn't get the clearance on
I
Rodgers being the
figured
middle
it was Aaron
name.
Rodgers, but not Aaron Jones.
No, Rogers was going to
And
be the
isn't there
middle
a-
name, but he couldn't get her to agree to it.
Yeah.
Isn't there another Aaron Brett?
She recommended that, but not really a big Brett Favre fan personally. Didn't really want that attached to him.
Do you not remember
enough.
that one Monday night game? Wasn't it the game the day after his father passed away?
Yeah, after his father died, yeah.
Yeah, and he just had a game
Mm-hmm.
of a lifetime
Yep.
for his
Oh,
dad in heaven. But guys, week 6 is here, and we won't be here Sunday. Don't look for us, but we're here Friday. And you can go whenever you need to hug me. You can go to your YouTube channel. And there I am, and I'll hug you.
So
Hey,
before we wrap up with Tyler's bets of the week, we got
Okay.
a couple quick comments here. Wanted to ask Spaceball if he thinks Big Ben is going to feast on a subpar Seattle defense Sunday night.
Yes. And I mean,
He'll
yes,
own up
don't
to
go
it.
against me on that. But I do think Najee Harris, I'm going to put Najee down for 150 yards plus against Seattle because you can run on him.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And
I
don't
mean,
forget,
that would not
see.
surprise me at all.
Ben doesn't have Juju, right? Schuster's out.
Juju's
Not
out for the
our
rest of the
Schuster,
season.
but Schuster's out for Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
What was the
he's-
other question? Wasn't there another one?
No, that was it. I just wanted to
Okay.
say we are going to get into Tyler's not so hot bets of the week. But before we do that, guys, immediately following our show, basically, our guy Harry the Greek, Harry Berg's got the Over Under podcast going on. Make sure you go over and check Harry out for all your other bet needs. But Tyler's got a few bets for us here before we close up the show. What's
Let's
hot
hear 'em,
this week,
Tyler.
Tyler? What do you like?
All right, yeah. Before I get into the bets, I'm going to give out a couple streamers I got for the week. If you're in a pinch with all these injuries going on, a lot of the guys we touched on in the middle of the show, but we got Taylor Heineke at quarterback versus Kansas City. Kansas City has given up a lot of points to the quarterback position, and Taylor Heineke has been performing pretty well for fantasy this year. And Carson
both
Wentz,
wide receivers are questionable.
He could still do it on his.
Just so
you could still do it with his legs. It's that rushing ability from these rushing quarterbacks.
I like.
And then we got Carson Wentz versus Houston last week or Monday night against Baltimore. He threw 400 yards. He's got a cupcake matchup against the Houston defense.
Oh, he'll probably be out fucking in the second quarter because he's Carson Wentz and he always gets hurt. No, I'm just kidding. That is a great stream.
Mm-hmm. And then over at running back, we got Alex Collins versus Pittsburgh. I'm not too hot on this one, but sometimes you got to follow the volume. I think he will be getting volume. Rashad Penny is still out. He's supposed to be activated next week. J.D. McKissick versus Kansas City. Like Space touched on, their top two wide receivers are questionable coming into the week. I don't think the football team's going to be able to keep up. They're going to be passing a lot, playing from behind. J.D. McKissick, I think, is a solid flex play in a PPR league this week. And then Khalil Herbert versus the Packers. I think he's a solid desperation flex play for the week.
Go Bears.
And the Buffalo Bills on Monday night, Josh Allen will throw for 500 yards. That's my pick.
Ooh,
that's my big
I wouldn't
pick.
say
So
500.
Josh Allen will probably break his head. Guys, have a great weekend. Be safe. Be healthy. I love you both.
All right. Space is jumping out. Let's go ahead and get into your bets of the week, Ty.
All right. So I got a couple, and I feel a lot better about two of these now that we got that info that Cliff Kingsbury does have COVID and he will not be coaching from the sideline this week.
Okay.
So I got under 49 in the Cardinals versus Browns game. Both teams are dinged up. The Browns are a fantastic defense. I don't think a lot of points get scored in this, especially now with the Cardinals missing their head coach. And then I also have the Browns -3 in that game at home for the same reasons with the what I gave for under 49.
Okay, I like it. I'd like it. One question real quick.
Yeah.
What's the line on the Bears-Packers game right now?
So it opened up at 4.5. I know it has been getting wider throughout the week. When I heard earlier today, it was anywhere between 5.5 and 6.5. Let me see. On DraftKings right now, it is 6 right now.
Oh, I'm going to bet on DraftKings as soon as we get out of here.
But the last two I got this week are the Cowboys -3.5 against the Patriots. The Patriots aren't very good. I don't think they have any chance to keep up with the Cowboys offense. The Cowboys defense has been playing not great, but they've been playing a million times better than we've seen from them over the last couple seasons.
Yeah, I would agree.
And then I got the Bengals -3.5 against the Lions. It's just because it's the Lions. No other reason needed.
Just because it's the Lions. I like that. That's all you got to say there, right? I mean, it's the Lions. Come on.
But yeah, no, that's all I got for bets this week.
All right. Well, Tyler will probably be 1 for 5 on his bets this week again. No, I'm just messing with you, Ty. But with that being said, make sure you check out the Over Under podcast with our guy Harry the Greek. He's riding one hell of a heater over there right now. Make sure you check out all the other shows that are here on 1252 Sports Chicago. We have, as I just mentioned, the Over Under with Harry the Greek. Sunday morning, we've got the Bears Fans with a Brain pregame show with our guy Alan Bratcher. Sunday night, we have the Schuster Express with legendary Chicago media guy David Schuster. Monday nights, we have Hube's Views and Brews with our guy Fred Hubner, who also does work with ESPN 1000. Does great post-game coverage there with them, as well as some weekend slots. And make sure you give our guy Fat Mike, the creator, the OG for 1252 Sports, a listen on Wednesdays. He just had a great show a couple weeks ago with Carmen DeFalco from ESPN 1000. Great content going on here on 1252 all week long, guys. So please be sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you never miss a show. See when we go live. And be sure to check out the podcast versions on Spotify. They are usually up 24 hours after our show has aired. Be sure to give us a listen there as well in case you missed something you want to catch up. With that being said, guys, have a great week. Let's go Bears, and we'll see you next week.